Hello, my name is Simon van der Beek. I'm an ecopreneur and sustainability consultant, and this time I'm traveling from The Hague in the Netherlands to Sweden, and I'll show you how to do it.
Hej och välkommen till Stockholm.
The Nissan Leaf is the best sold full electric vehicle on the planet, and there's a lots of reason for that. It's a generally good car, and especially this Nissan Leaf 2 is, you know, to be appreciated. And still, I think Nissan made two fundamental errors which I really don't get. The first one is they didn't use so-called active thermal management. So the battery that is below the car is not actively cooled. It's only cooled by the external air that flows below the battery. And when you're driving, the battery temperature goes up. When you're fast charging, like we're doing right now, the battery goes up. And you know, brands like Audi and brands like Tesla, BMW, they all used forms of active thermal management, which means that the battery is actively cooled when you're driving or when you're charging. And you know, the consequence of this is that this Nissan Leaf is okay when doing road trips, but it's not great because the temperature of the battery is getting hotter and hotter and hotter every time we fast charge. And with software, the Nissan pushes that speed of charging down to protect the battery, because if the battery would get too hot, it would be very bad for your battery, and it would you would see faster degradation. This is a generally known problem. It's called rapid gate. And you know, the only real solution would be to actively add thermal cooling to new Nissan Leafs. They already tried adding some software tweaks. That doesn't really help. So you know, what I generally see is the more fast charges I do on one day, the hotter the battery gets, and the less fast you charge every extra time. So I think this is a fundamental error. I already called Nissan Netherlands about this, and you know, their honest answer is it's just about price. So Nissan made a very complete car for a competitive price. So that's, you know, that's impressive. It's a good car, but the charging is just not, you know, it's not what it should be. Especially when you're doing road trips like I'm doing, you want a car that's able to charge up very quickly, and the Nissan Leaf is just not up to that. So the battery temperature of the Nissan Leaf 2 becomes really hot. It didn't hit the first red sign. If it does, it already is freakingly hot. I have a temperature table, and when it hits the second indication, mostly I'm telling my friend Amar, you know, call the cook, because really you could cook something on the battery. It's so impressively hot. And the reason why this is no good is that every time you charge for an additional time, it will be slower than the previous time. So to put it simply, it makes your road trips way longer than necessary. For example, Tesla has active battery cooling. I believe it's a form of liquid cooling, and it keeps the battery cool, so you can charge at the same fast charge speed as before, no problem. For Sweden, it's quite a warm day. To me, as a Dutchman, it's not. But whether it's cold or it's very hot or it's raining or it's snowing, whatever, this group is standing here quite every Friday at the Parliament in Stockholm. And I must say that, you know, it's not a very big group. Personally, I feel that this has something to do with the amount of urgency that people feel for what is happening. And of course, these people protest, you know, for a more active climate change policy. And you know, every Friday these people meet here at the Parliament. These are young people from schools. I've spoken to parents. They took along their children.